Hello everybody, welcome to another live coding session, right on schedule. So we have new week, new Monday, and we'll be continuing where we left off last week on our application data container implementation. I hope you enjoyed the last week's UNO Platform 6.0 launch event and webinar. So if you have watched it, let me know what you thought about it. And hello MCNets in the comments. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. It was quite a fun one, and I really enjoyed doing the demo of the new features in UNO 6.0 and with the Skia rendering as well, of course. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. So I just started in the background here a build of the Windows version of the samples application in our branch, so that because I wanted to check if our implementation actually works still on Windows and all the runtime tests are passing, so that I know that they are actually aligned with WinUI. But I see there is some issue here with the build on Windows, and it's related apparently to GL canvas element samples. So I might actually disable them for now, because I don't really need them for this specific scenario, for this specific instance, and I will have to mark it down to actually test why the samples app is not building with them. So I will make a new issue for that. So app so what's the error? Let us check it there. Right, so let's see if I do this again. Yeah, it's probably gonna fail because those are actually used somewhere, I guess. So this sample uses them, and so I will just get rid of this for now. Just a temporary change, so shouldn't be worrying too much, but we need to figure it out. That's annoying. The good thing is that we have now the samples app for Windows running on WinUI and running on the desktop on our implementation of the Windows target, is that we can easily compare how what's the behavior of runtime tests on Windows WinUI and Windows desktop. So we can then easily compare if all the runtime tests are passing on both targets, and if they're not, we can easily also check what's the difference or what is the right behavior on WinUI. So let's see if this now passes. Hopefully it will. And if not, then we will make some more adjustments there. I'm happy that you enjoyed the webinar. It was a busy week preparing all of it and making sure that all of the samples are ready and all the documentation and everything. But yeah, it is finally completely public and completely out, so we can now focus on some new features and some new things for 6.1 and so on. So that's good. All right, so we're in the samples app and we should be good with what are the application data container. I think those are the samples that we want. And what is this? Yes. So it should throw exactly, right? Okay, that's all green. So all of these are the tests for application data container, and they are all passing on WinUI. That's good. It means that when we get all of those tests passing on Skia target, then we have a reasonably valid and correct implementation as well. So we need to get to that point, although I'm not sure if we'll be able to get there today, because the implementation is kind of complex. But I think if we work on it platform by platform, starting with Skia target, it might be more reasonably doable than trying to get all the platforms at once, because that is just too many changes at once. So I think I will just first align the Skia implementation, and when that is passing, then I will try to align all of those others to match the behavior of the Skia one. I will make this smaller. Hopefully it's still visible. I tried to do 200 scaling, so it should be readable, hopefully. And if not, I will make it a little bit bigger as well. So where we were last week. So last week we're starting to try to launch the sample application. It's launching, but it's crashing on startup. So there are some not implemented paths still that we need to make sure that they are actually working. And when we are able to get to the actual sample application and get to runtime tests page, we should be able to start running those tests and verifying what are the missing pieces, what is not aligned yet. So let's try to launch it first, and we will see what's still throwing and throwing exceptions on startup. All right. So actually kind of not updated labels here. I'll have to check. X11 should be there. Yes, but we don't have Win32 label yet. No. So I noticed this actually when I was creating issues previously, that there is no Win32 label yet, so worth adding it, because we now have separate Win32 backend. So let's do Win32 and let's mark it Windows. Nice. Good. And Skia, what is it? Skia one, that's there, but we don't have desktop. No, we don't have desktop. Oh, it could be nice. So, platform, desktop. So, should be good. This one. PC. Oh, that's not desktop. This is a desktop. Good. Just to make sure that we have tag for everything. So what's the usual general text that's there? Something like this. Desktop. It's already started up, so we can check what's happening there. And Win32. Let's do that as well. Yes, that's done. Okay. Good, so we're back here. I had a breakpoint there, so not relevant now, but it's starting up. Hello, Red Eye developers. So we are able to go to the runtime tests and application data container tests. So let's run it. And we're immediately hitting an exception here because we're trying to enumerate keys, which is not working. So let's focus on that first. Okay, so native application settings doesn't have a keys property, and there was one, I think. Yeah, values.keys. So let's key collection. Okay, so let's go here and let's point that to some kind of get keys. Get keys. Right. So there is a keys property that we need to, is enumerable. So let's, what are we calling those methods that are platform specific? So it's just partial ones. So private partial enumerable get keys platform. So we'll just do it like this. And maybe these should be then also renamed to actually include that platform suffix, because it would be nice to have aligned naming. So I will do remove setting platform, try get setting platform, just to make these, make it clear that these are actually talking to the platform specific code there. So setting platform, and then we have contains setting as well. So contains settings platform. All right. Okay, so now these renames should be also here. So platform. I could have used the Visual Studio renaming, but usually what I find when I try to do that, it either freezes because the solution is just too large for it to be able to do so, or it just causes, or it just doesn't rename. It just refuses. It just fails completely and doesn't even explain why. So that's pretty annoying. So supports locality platform. Okay. Good. So supports locality platform. Okay. Now that we have done that, we can call the getKeys platform method that will just return the enumerable of keys, and that one, it already contains definition, so that must be in here, keys. Yes. So I'll just comment it out for now. And getKeys platform, I will have to add a private partial enumerable. Oh, getKeys platform implementation. For now, not implemented, doesn't matter really. And then we have the getKeys implementation here. So I will just take this and do private partial getKeys platform and add that implementation there. Now, okay, so that should be good. Now, that should compile, and let's try again, and let's see how far we got this time. Although there is something. What is it? This one. Okay. Maybe null here. That's fine, that's nullable. I see. I think this is the right diagnostic. Okay, and it's also complaining because I need to update these methods as well. So that's here. Those are updated, but in WASM, those are not. So let's add them. And there was still an exception. Come on, still building? Just give up. It doesn't work. Okay, let's... Ah, here we go. Platform. Okay. that could be it. Ah, there is this one again. I see. Forgot to add get keys platform to reference, and then maybe finally we could have it. Okay, we can get a null value even though hello Eduardo, nice to meet you. It seems that we still have to could have null value even though we are getting through here, so that's actually okay as long as the serialized value does handle nulls, which it does, so it should be fine. So let's see what's still the issue. I'm maybe trying to compile this one directly for simplicity. Yeah, it has to have implementation part. Yeah, but it does, I guess. But let's view this under the Skia targeting. It's still the case. So what is it complaining now about? Keys platform. Yeah, it's all there, so I don't really see the problem there. Accessibility modifiers has an implementation on all the target that we are looking at now. Yeah, it should be fine. So what could be the problem there? Okay, it's built, so maybe it's just outdated errors. That could be, yeah, because it's showing for Uno.NET Core Mobile, which is not something that we're doing right now. That's fine. Alrighty. Should be able to launch now. Are you planning to watch today's Microsoft Build keynote? I think it's gonna be happening very soon, actually. I can already guess the topic, the main topic at least. That's just clearly AI, right? I should make a bingo of how many times AI or Copilot will be mentioned during the keynote. Application data container, and let's see. Okay, that could be actually okay as long as we're doing the test. Yeah, okay, we're doing it the right test. Okay, so it's running some tests, but there are some not implemented ones. Let's see how many are passing right now at least. Oh. Just make it run. Okay, we're passing 13 of the 6 tests. What is this? This is how many were run, and some are probably. Oh, retrying 2 times means they are counted as test running twice. Maybe. It's confusing. It's like it says that it's run 30 tests, 13 passed, but 60 failed, which doesn't make any sense. Let's see what happens if I do this one. Ah, okay, that's quite annoying because it's counting all those failed parts of the test as a separate failed test, which I don't think that's right. We should probably adjust this. Like, there is. actual number of tests that were run were 2. This is this one and this one. But the number of failed tests is showing us as 8. Huh. That is something. 4. Okay, so the cleanup shouldn't be counted as a failed test as itself, because it's like not a test. So let's actually go to our unit tests control. Yeah, this is a control that is running all those tests, and we are somewhere here incrementing the failed count tests number. And that is not right for this case. I see. Yeah, we should probably tracking somehow the failures and failures in catch, like in cleanup, as well as the failures in retries, because otherwise the numbers just don't make sense. But just for now, I'll ignore this and report is a separate issue, because we would be jumping from topic to topic, which would be annoying. So yeah, samples, runtime tests, test counts are not reported consistently. And it was the other one, this one, I think. Okay, so there are 2 tests and 8 failures. Okay, so okay, it's just something for us as Uno platform developers, because it's a little bit confusing for usage. So we need to adjust this ultimately, but it's not really relevant to our current task, so it's okay. Hello to the chat. Okay, here we go. So this one is failing now. So we can try. Oh, let's try again the application data container, and let's see what's the first one. We have to now reset the exception settings to defaults. So let's see. This one is failing because it's not implemented. We need to remove all keys with a given prefix. So let's do that now. So there is this remove keys with predicate, so we can just call that one. Key starts with. So this will remove keys that are matching this prefix. That should be okay. So what we're doing currently is implementing application data container API in Uno Platform. Uno Platform is a cross-platform framework for building applications, mobile applications, desktop applications, and web applications in .NET. And we're implementing this new feature that allows us to kind of containerize and group settings for the user or preferences for the user. If you haven't tried Uno Platform, definitely I recommend you to do so, because it's an open source solution, it's free, and it's a good way to build cross-platform applications without additional hassle of learning every other platform's specificities. You just write it once and you run it everywhere, which is nice. Okay, there we go. It's launching now. Application data container, and let's see how far we get. So this is an expected one. Okay, so get enumerator of application data container settings. Okay. We need to, so for the keys enumeration, we need to make sure that we don't include the keys with a given prefix. So with the internal setting prefix. So this is a okay solution, but we might want to make this a little bit different actually. Internal enumerable string get keys predicate string should include. So just like being able to check specific check each key and return only ones that are actually interesting to us. So this would be a simplified access to this functionality. So in this case, you could do get keys, key, and we need to make sure that this makes sense, even though it might be able, Copilot might be able to figure this out. So we need to make sure that the key starts with the container path, but it does not include the internal settings of that container. So this gives us the internal settings keys and then excludes those specifically. So when both conditions pass, we have what we needed. So to array, and we should be good. Well, I am a little bit biased because I'm using C#. So for application development, I'm always using C#. And the good thing about C# is that it's fully cross-platform. So it runs not only on Windows, Android, iOS, but also on WebAssembly, on Linux, on macOS. It's just fully cross-platform. And our solution for app development is fully cross-platform as well. So we are kind of competition to Flutter, which is also fully cross-platform. Swift or Kotlin are platform specific, so you can use them on iOS, you can use them on Android, but you will not be able to use them on Windows easily, or macOS easily, or the web easily. So for those cases, I would go for either Uno Platform or Flutter, whatever you prefer. But of course, I'm a little bit partial to Uno Platform because C# is my favorite language. So I definitely recommend you to try out Uno Platform because it's an amazing solution. And it really is really efficient and productive for for development, because you can just write your application once and it runs everywhere. And for example, compared to Flutter, we are offering a lot of additional APIs that you would not have in Flutter, or you would have to take dependencies on external packages to get those functionalities. We offer them in box with Uno platform and for free. So it might be interesting to you. So definitely try it out. Right. All right. So for this one, let's do something like this. I would like to get all the values for a given set of keys. So what I will do is to have internal enumerable of object for get values. Given keys, I'll select the value. So select the values for those keys one by one. So I don't need to actually convert this to array, but just return the values. So that should be it. And need to convert to array here. Good. So that we have the values there. We have copy to, we don't have implemented yet, but that should be okay. This one, what is this one? So clear. So we can actually take this implementation is current container key. Okay. Okay, and is current container public key. So basically what I'm doing here is kind of moving that key check logic outside, because we had it directly into predicate, but now we can have the predicate be directly this method, which will simplify our code. So we can do this. And now we get all the public keys only, which makes it much more readable. For the clear method, we will be clearing all the public keys. So this current container public key, and then the enumerator here. Yeah, like mobile app development is complex, and there's a lot of things to do and learn. So, I mean, the good thing with Uno platform, because of course I'm a bit partial, but the good thing with Uno platform is it's not only mobile development, but it's also desktop and web development. So you can do all of those things with a single code base. That's a good thing. So you can build on any platform. So you can use Windows, Mac, or Linux. You can use any IDE. So Visual Studio Code or Rider. And then you just build your application with one single code base, and it runs on mobile, web, and desktop. So even if mobile development is no longer relevant sometime in the future, you can still have the same application running on the web. You can still have the same application running on the desktop, and those platforms are going to still be there. Or even though I'm really not I don't really think that mobile will go away, but if you still want to have an application that runs on the web as well, this is a solution because it runs even on the web without any changes. So you have truly cross-platform application that runs there, and you don't have to make any changes, and you can still release the same application as a native application that runs directly on the hardware, directly on the mobile hardware, which is very optimized, very fast. So, you know, it's a good alternative to building a platform-specific thing that only runs on a specific platform, which is just not ideal, of course. Okay. So clear including internal. So what we will do is remove keys, but this is not the right one. So is container, is current container key, and is internal key. So this will clear, well, we can actually do a separate method there. Private bool is current container private key, and this is the internal key. That's how we named it before. So yeah, let's do this. Much cleaner now. All right, so that we have everything. Oh, there is still the copy to, so we can actually implement it quickly, or let Copilot do its thing. So let's see if it makes the right implementation. Okay, just gate checking before actually doing the copying, and then it for each over the key value. Wait. So it gets the key value pair and copies from the array index forward. So yeah, this seems okay. Right. So let's see what happens when we launch this. Hello, Dominic. Oh yeah, have a good trip for NDC, and make sure to go to the NDC, Oslo climbing wall. And these, so it's Oslo Climbing Center, Magnus Midbø. This is the Oslo Classes Center. It's amazing, definitely worth visiting. If you have a time, then definitely a great place to do bouldering or even lead climbing. Definitely recommend it. Right, let's go back here. It's building still. Okay, let's see what happens. Application data container. Let's run it. Let's uncheck this. Okay, so something is still wrong there. All right, so we're returning the non-deserialized version of the values. We need to make sure that's working. But we got definitely much farther this time. You can see that only 3 tests are failing, which is pretty good. So let's do this one. So we should be getting the serialized version of the key, and we're getting the serialized one. So we need to fix it. Yeah, if you have a chance, then also send photos. The bouldering there is amazing. It's an amazing place. It's huge. Really, really huge. And maybe, if you're lucky, you might actually come across Magnus Midbø there. So this is giving us the non-deserialized version. So let's see what happens in the implementation there. We are looking to values, which is there, and wait, this is the values is the, okay, so this is the indexer of application data container settings, and we should be getting that here. Not for the, yeah, okay, so multiple questions there. For the, yeah. For Edward, or that error that you're getting, I would definitely make an issue on our GitHub so we can look into that, because it's possible that either there is an error in the native rendering or there is an error on the SCIA rendering. We need to compare and see what's happening and what is the source of the issue. But you should be able to do horizontal alignment stretch or horizontal content alignment stretch. I would say that one of those should help, and if not, then definitely still make an issue so we can understand why it's differing between native and SCIA. Technically, the SCIA rendering should be the more correct one, because we aligned it with WinUI more than the native targets. So it's likely and possible then that the SCIA version is the correct one, but still it should be possible to stretch it if you explicitly set it to stretch. So hopefully that will work. For TakeSS, we have the question if it will also get the environment keys, but unfortunately not yet. This specific change that I'm doing is not going to affect like the current functionality of retrieving the settings. It's still gonna retrieve the same way, but ultimately we could add this functionality later, but not right now. This is just a refactoring on changing the functionality of application data containers so that it can be nested on multiple levels. So that's the idea. And there is a question what we are coding, and that is the application data container API in Uno platform. So this is Uno platform. Oh, right. Platform.uno. That's our open source framework for building cross-platform .NET applications for mobile, desktop, and the web. So fully cross-platform applications with one single code base, and I'm currently implementing one of the APIs in the platform itself. Okay, so let's go back to the issue at hand. So we're not actually doing the right thing, specifically not deserializing the values. And that should be happening here. I'm not sure why it's not happening, but maybe the problem is that we're not, okay, the serialize, deserialize, it should be deserializing there. So let's see what's, so the data container, when we are doing the indexing, there is an indexer somewhere hidden here. Not here, here. So there's indexer, which is getting the key from a specific index. So the test container, it's going inside the not native application settings. So it's getting here. So the value should be the serialized version. It's kind of serialized twice. That's probably the problem. So let's see what happens here. If I run this, the value is already serialized from the outside. I see. We're serializing here, which is what we wanted actually. We want to do the serialization in the application data container settings so that the native application settings does not have this concern at all. It should be without the serialization concern. But we're okay. Well, we can try that. I'm not sure what's the right approach here. If we serialize a value, the value, we'll be getting. So what's a better way to do it? Like currently, the native application settings is an internal thing, so it can take care of the serialization for now at least. But ultimately, if we want the user to be able to access any kind of settings that is not Uno platform based, it would need to support also non-deserialized and serialized versions. But currently that's not really supported because otherwise we'll be not able to read the value correctly. The question is whether the Skia target is less accessible than the native targets. And I think on the web, it should be completely accessible, although something might have changed since, but the idea is that there is this Uno enable accessibility invisible button, which you can enable using screen reader, and that will generate semantic root elements so that you can actually let screen reader to read the content of the page. So it should work and it should be accessible still. And we are definitely going to work on the accessibility part of it much further in the upcoming versions so that we make sure that all those accessibility elements and all those automation peers are readable by screen readers. So ultimately it should be as accessible as the HTML version, but there might be some gaps still. And the other question is also if we're planning to add a key value storage tutorial. I think key value storage, that's like not application data container or something else. There's also a question about serialization in Uno extensions, and I guess it should be able to serialize tuples and dictionary types, but I wasn't really working on an extension, so that is a question better suited for Nick or Steve from our team, because those are much closer to the extensions part of the equation. So definitely worth asking on Discord. They should be able to answer that. So for now, let's do the serialization in the native settings. So in this case, we will get rid of the serialized value and deserialized value here. Alright. I'm thinking what's the better approach here. If we should be able to serialize or deserialize, but we still need to get the setting as a string. So if it's retrieved as a string, it has to be a serialized version. So anyway, we need to do the serialization there. So I will do the serialization and serialization in the native container instead, and we'll see what happens. So if I remove this, it's going to be a few errors. So this one is no longer necessary because it's directly in the, although it's, oh, okay. So it needs to be, okay, that should be it. So we can just call this one directly. Right. Is that a key? The value must be assigned outward value. Is it not going to work like this? It should work, right? although it's out. It should be able to do this, I think. Try get value. It's container getting key. So this is the key, and this is the container. I see. Might be because it's not nullable there. Wait. Var. It shouldn't be there. I see. That's it. Okay. Equals value, and this is set value without serialization, and this one is just map change. Okay. Might be better now. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I see. So there are storage extensions. That's kind of basically the app container. The app container is the direct WinUI API. So that's the API that's available in WinUI directly, and you can use it in WinUI as well. But the Uno extensions storage, I think that's the one. That should be the advantage there. I think it could be that it works in unpackaged applications on WinUI, on Windows as well. I'm not completely sure what's the difference. Maybe it's just that it provides a more convenient API that's easier to manage. But I'm not sure. You should be asking probably about this on Discord for those specific team members who worked on it. But we can actually quickly check here the storage API, storage, key value storage, and we have application data. I see. So I think that, I see. It seems like there is multiple different key value storage implementations. So probably it allows you to get agnostic way of accessing key value storage, which can be backed by application data or password key vault or keychain or key store on specific platforms, so encrypted and non-encrypted ones. And this one, yeah, I think it's just otherwise just setting the keys, and it's just a wrapper around application data ultimately. And it seems that it also works in unpackaged Windows applications. So yeah, that's it. So works for unpackaged ones, as well as allows you to kind of abstract away the complexities and have a shared API between like encrypted and non-encrypted settings. So that's probably it. Okay, let's see, application data container, and what we are having here is complete path. That's good. All right, so we actually now should be able to go to a different page and go back to our settings, and it's still not persisted yet. Application data, let's do this one. Okay. So for the current stream is about implementing application data container support. Like what I'm doing is specifically this application data container nesting WinUI or UWP. I'm not sure if there is a what's the correct documentation for this, but my this PR will add support for this, for application data composite value. So you can store a composite value that's serialized as a unit into application settings, and also being able to add nested containers. So create container, something like this. You have the root local settings, but you create a new container inside, which has a specific name, and then you store values inside of the container. So if your application has a lot of settings, you could have like general settings and then user settings, and then I don't know, for example, personalization settings. And the good thing is that when you have this containerization, then you can just delete a whole container. So you can have something like reset defaults and reset specific set of settings or group of settings to a default value just by kind of deleting that container. So that's the idea behind this PR. But it's interesting that it doesn't preserve that text here. It should be getting preserved, but it's not. So let's see what happens in the unit tests control. Application data. Wait. So this one, if I go here, it should be getting this one. Okay. Go settings. So this is saving the current value, but it's not working well for now. So why? If I change the text, the config is some kind of nested thing, and it's not getting serialized apparently. So let's see. If I go here, okay, so it is the application that contains settings setter here. It should be serializing as a string into the container directly as a key. Okay, so I maybe stepped over too quickly. So it's setting it as for the indexer, so it's setting it here. There's the native application container settings, and it's setting the value here. Okay, so this should be kind of setting the value, and the type is a string. Yes, so the result should be system string. Yes, that seems okay to me. Is there some kind of exception? So it is definitely writing to that file, but okay, let's go back to the getter. So here it should be local setting values, try get value. That's the implementation that we are looking for. Go to definition. Come on. No, that's not what I want. So local settings values. Try get value. This should be triggering this code. So the key is right, and it's trying to go through try get value here. So it hits this and gets to try get setting platform, which is what is the set of values there. And the value is there, so that's okay. We should get the value and deserialize the value. Okay, that's still all good. So let's go out of there. And the value is the deserialized value. That seems okay. So what is the problem there? So it's get out of there. Okay. All good. So what is triggering this? It seems like it's overwriting the text or something. Let's see here. The text is correct still. Oh, now it works? Huh. That is odd. If I put a breakpoint here. Yeah, it still works. That is... Suddenly it works. I don't like that. Usually it's better when things work reliably. Okay. Huh, now it's preserved. But I think I saw it not working. Huh. Let's try again. If I start up again, maybe that's the reason. Yes, the question is, what's the difference between this this API and the application app settings JSON? The thing that app settings JSON is kind of bundled with your application, and it's a JSON file, so it's configurable by you, but not easily configurable by the user. This is more for like preferences kind of API. So you have some personalization in your application, like dark theme, light theme, and you want the user to store some of their settings there so that you can retrieve them again after startup. So this is why this API exists. And this is so yeah, it's like writable options for your application, not a like read-only container. So that's probably the better way to look at it. It's like a writable container. And yeah, like this is just logical grouping of settings that this PR will be adding. And that will be useful because you could then more easily group settings by their functionality, by their usage, which will make them just clearer to use. So okay, so we seem to have working application data containers. So I will just do a commit with those changes. So feed. So this is the Skia implementation, specifically the desktop kind of implementation. This Skia is only for desktop, and then there's Android, iOS, WebAssembly. So those will have to be implemented separately. But this seems to be working now, at least in terms of the tests passing now. And let's do full application data. So there is set version, which is not working yet. We'll need to implement that, but that should be easy quite easy now. So let's look at get version. So get version. application data. Oh, set version, right? Let's see. It's application data version. Yes, set version async. So we need to persist this value, and we will do that by using local settings for that. So we will do local settings, and we will store that value. So actually, let's do it like this. And this has was a set and getter, I think, yeah. Oh, it's private set. Okay, that's good. So good. So So technically what we'll do is local settings values. If local settings is not application data container settings, and we'll throw new invalid operation exception. And then what we'll do is get internal setting. I will have to create a separate getter and setter for internal settings as well. So internal. So how do we so we need to name need to make sure that the setting is using the internal setting prefix. So that is the prefix. We will name it here. So it's going to be a private const string version setting key. It's going to be something like this: application data container setting, container internal settings prefix and application data version. So this one is an internal setting that will always be there. Maybe you can do this like internal pool try get value string try get internal value string key out object. Actually, it will work still, even though it is internal setting. If you provide __, it will be able to read that value correctly, I think. So try get value. Yeah, that should be fine. We're not preventing it here. So what I can do is get the value. So if so by default the version is set to 0, so that should be it. And then we have private void set version setting, and that is just setting the specific key to the specific value. And let's check how that implementation looks. So if we have a setter, yeah, it just sets that setting key to the right value. So that should be fine, I think. So let's check if this approach works. So this will be get version setting, and this will be set version setting value. And it's going to be a private setter so that it can be set only from one of the methods here. So this setting, this is setting the value, and set version method is somewhere here. Application data CS, generated file, set version async. It's own async, it seems. Yeah, it seems so. Okay, that's good. So let's launch this. We'll see what happens if we now serialize the value correctly. Okay, but if this works, then we should be all good to go, at least for the Skia part of the equation. And then we can continue with other platforms next time. So given application data, so that's the set of tests for versioning. So this is just setting the version. And so when set version. So this one is passing, but the one with handler does not seem to be, and the deferred one as well. So set version async. So this one should be hitting the current version. We're not setting the current version right in the task, it seems. I see, that's it. Okay, current version is not even set here, so current version and desired version needs to be set, or initialize those values, because those are not initialized right now. And the deferred one is not working still, so what's the problem there? It's doing it on a different thread. Which one is it then? Where is it crashing? Deferred. Okay, so it seems like this has to be a UI thread action. Interesting. Not sure if that's the case on Windows though. Samples app. Application data. Actually this one. It seems to be okay. So it does not need to check this for specifically for the deferral. So it has, this probably was added for some specific reason, but it does not apply to this specific case. So, okay, so some deferrals probably require it, but this one doesn't. So we need to make sure that this one does not. So this by default will be false. Or true, I mean true, but if it does not require UI thread, will not be checking the UI thread. So if it requires, then we will be checking it, and if not, we will not. And then in this specific case, for the set version async, we will not be generating the deferral with UI thread checking, so false. Requires UI thread, false. So this one does not require UI thread, so we are safe to set it on a non-UI thread even. This set version request application data here, not here, here. Inventory is completed. All the first completed. Task source. I guess this should work. Okay, it works. All right, we should be good then. So if we do the whole run, then we are passing all the tests, which is nice. Okay, so today we were able to implement the Skia part of this puzzle, and the next time we can continue implementing the other platforms, so Android, iOS, and WebAssembly, to provide the same functionality. It will be basically most of the time spent directly in these native application settings classes, because those are the ones that are not shared. All of that, everything else here is shared code. So now only these need to be adjusted to be platform specific. So that's pretty promising. Hopefully we'll be able to manage that next time. So yeah, it was a productive session today. Right, so I will just push this change. Need support for set version async. Application data set version async. Actually, I'll use this backticks to make it nicer and push. All right, good, we're done. So thank you for joining for this Uno platform session. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see each other probably in 2 weeks time, because next week we are on a conference on Techorama Belgium. So if you're in Belgium next week, definitely stop by, and we will have a booth there. So we'll be promoting Uno platform at the conference with some fun materials. So it's going to be interesting. And yeah, so again, thank you for joining, and we will see each other in 2 weeks. Bye bye.